Welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Sam and I'm outside enjoying the added benefits of walking outside in nature in some colder weather. So there are so many benefits to our physical, mental, and emotional well-being for simply spending time outside, spending time outdoors. All right, so I'm out here in daylight, which is reconnecting my body to the planet's and the Earth's own sleep-wake cycle, known as our circadian rhythm. So that's going to improve my sleep. All right, so we're going to get deeper, better quality sleep tonight. And because it's a habit, it's just something that I've appreciated, something I enjoy, something I benefit from. And again, because I'm out here first thing in the morning, I am getting a little bit of a different wavelength in terms of the light spectrum. So instead of that blue light, which is not as beneficial, I'm getting more closer to the red-orange, which is slightly more beneficial. But being outside in winter, getting this daylight, it's good for my bones. It's good for my immune system. It's good for my heart, and it's good for my circulatory system. But the benefits of walking outside in nature, beyond the reduction of cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and the increase of serotonin, which comes with fresh air in daylight, right? I have an opportunity to connect with nature. Nature naturally calms, right? Being mindful, exercising, getting some breath work, so many added benefits. But it's the cold weather that just adds a little bit more. So what's happening because of the temperature? This morning it's about minus 11, right? A little bit of frost on my beard. So just the added cold air does something to my body's need for heat. It changes what my body requires in terms of energy just to regulate the internal temperature. I'm actually burning more calories I wouldn't even have to move. Just being outside is going to cost my body a little more energy. So if walking outdoors, if spending time outside, if walking is part of your exercise regime, part of your healthy habit, then doing it in colder weather, just going to add a little more of a boost. The other added benefits, and they're just minute, but they do count, is the fact that I'm wearing extra layers. Now, we're not talking pounds, but my footwear, winter hiking boots, just a couple more ounces of weight. Requires a little more effort. And again, by the time you add gloves, toque, maybe thicker pants, another layer underneath, a heavier coat, just a couple grams, a couple ounces, it's all going to add. So yeah, if I were to weigh myself in my summer sandals, shorts, and t-shirt relative to what I'm wearing now, it might add up to a couple pounds, requiring more energy, which if I'm outside for the same duration is going to work with my metabolism. Now, colder weather, breathing it in, requiring a couple more calories to regulate, and I'm burning more calories because of the work I'm getting. There's also a small difference in terms of what I'm strengthening, in terms of my bones, my muscles, but so smaller stabilizer muscles. Because I'm walking on snow, it's not a packed trail. The purchase of my foot is slightly different. I might as well be walking in sand. So I'm not striking the ground with the same impact. My foot has a chance to roll a little bit more. That's engaging more muscles in my feet, and it's engaging more smaller stabilizer muscles around my ankles, around my knees. You feel it a little bit differently. It's a different kind of soreness or fatigue or strain on your muscles when you're walking. So I have a couple routes that I walk with a dog twice a day, every day. So it's a habit. It's part of his healthy lifestyle. So it is something that we benefit from, but just doing it in colder weather just adds, again, just 1% here, 1% there, 1% in another place. They all add up. So by continuing and having the consistency of my walking habit, doing it in winter just adds a couple more benefits. So again, all the increased benefits. Mindfulness is slightly different. So first and foremost, I want to worry about my comfort and my safety. I don't want to suffer any of the effects of exposure. So again, I am going to dress appropriately, and I'm going to think about my timing and I think about my route. But if I'm spending the same amount of time, there are just some added benefits in terms of what it does to my frame, what it does to my muscles, what it does to my cardiovascular system, my heart health. Just a couple more benefits by spending the same amount of time in I don't even want to use the word slightly, actually colder temperatures. So it might not feel as comfortable, but you have some options around that. So be safe, stay warm. There's a risk of overheating, all right, shedding layers. But again, I want to come prepared, and I've got the experience and the knowledge and the resources to know that if something were to happen to me physically, that I could find some comfort. I could create, and I have the experience to survive, to succeed. All right. So a little bit of experience and knowledge will add to the confidence, will add to the maintenance of maintaining that consistency of the same duration, the same intensity, the same focus, the same need, and the same want. But the colder weather just adds a couple more benefits, and I'm happy for it. All right. So yeah, it's just beautiful. It's quiet, right? I don't get the same smells, but I do get to experience a different way of appreciating the wildlife around me as well. Give you, for instance, had a chance to wander across a couple of wolf tracks, and I know there were wolf tracks just by the size of the footprint, and they were not associated with other large domestic dog footprints that I might see in our forest, because those would have some humans with them. These tracks were also following a well-established deer trail. I saw deer tracks just yesterday, literally in the same patch of forest, so these wolves were tracking that. I also know they're wolves because they're, not a lot of snow, but it didn't snow overnight, so I could see my footprints that I made yesterday evening, and there were, it was a small stretch, but the wolves were right on top of that. And where there was less snow, when they stepped on mine, I could see the outline of the fur just outside. And a wild dog won't have the same claw prints as a domestic dog. A domestic dog the same size, there would definitely be some claw prints, just genetically and in terms of use. Wild dogs, they don't grow the same type of claw, and they're definitely not as long. So when I see a large footprint and they're spread over, the animal had to be a significant size based on the distance between its pads. And when I see a little bit more fur outlining the footprint, and I don't see any claws leaving their mark in fresh fallen snow, that's a different animal. And I also watched my dog. If it's a fox print, he bolts. All right, that's something to chase. Now this larger animal that he's not in the habit of smelling that often, he definitely had his hair up. He was definitely smelling each print individually and intensely. He didn't have to track them for that long. He knew and he understood naturally that was a large predator. It made him feel vulnerable, and he spent a little more time by my side through the rest of our walk. So all good indicators based on experience and a little bit of tracking knowledge, and watching my own dog interact with new footprints in the fresh fallen snow. So they're out here, right? It just shows that I've got a healthy ecosystem, and that I've got all members of the wildlife community, from producers and consumers at the first level being herbivores and omnivores, and I've got some top predators in my neighborhood. Just another thing that I can benefit from by spending time outside in nature in winter. Colder weather makes animals move, including me, and search for food. I'm going to go find some warmth, maybe some breakfast. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Please go outside. It's so good for you. Try it in colder weather. There are some benefits. I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye. Yeah, good boy.